Welcome back. You've heard all year that the economy is improving, but businesses say they are still feeling the pinch. Does that mean that employees can expect to feel the pinch too, with no year-end Christmas bonuses and pre-Christmas pay? The Executive Director of the Employers Federation, Joseph Alexander, makes it clear that employers are not entitled to give employees bonuses. The decision to give or not give, he says, rests solely in the hands of the employer. But he says it has become a customary show of goodwill towards employees.
Christmas culture in St. Lucia is centered on family time, gift giving, lavish eating, and plenty of shopping. Many employees are hopeful that employers will pay out salaries before Christmas and even give Christmas bonuses as a thank you for their efforts throughout the year. This Executive Director, St. Lucia Employers Federation, Joseph Alexander, says is a decision left to the discretion of the employer and is not mandatory. Nonetheless, he says, the season of giving engenders goodwill on the part of employers towards employees.
Employers over the years have, when they've had a very good year, have sought to share some of the benefits with their employees. And in many instances, employers would grant about a Christmas bonus. Most of those bonuses are tied to productivity and performance, right? So in other words, an employee who's produced very much for the year ought not to get the same amount as an employee who just barely earned their keep.
Alexander says to the credit of employers, most of them are considerate enough to pay out salaries ahead of Christmas.
To the best of my knowledge, most companies, at least most of the members of the Federation, pay before Christmas. You see, there's a cultural thing in St. Lucia. If you don't pay somebody before Christmas, you're going to have a very demotivated staff. So companies have caught on to that, and they normally, it's only exceptional circumstances, maybe in the construction sector, because if you pay the guys before, they may not come to work, and you've paid in advance. But in employment, consistent employment, I would say 90%, 95% of employers pay before the Christmas season.
On the issue of bonuses, Alexander says fluctuations in yearly profits have forced some companies to move away from cash bonuses and provide a more sustainable token of appreciation to staff come end of year.
You do what suits you. So if you definitely don't have the money, some token of appreciation. And employees do appreciate the token because they understand the situation of the company, and they would be happy with the ham or the turkey or a couple of drinks. But culturally, it has always been known that this is the season of goodwill, of giving, and employers, to the best of my knowledge, always make an effort to give some kind of, to show some kind of appreciation at that time of year.
Alexander expects that many businesses will be counting their losses as opposed to profits, but he says there is always a way to show appreciation to employees. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The National Workers' Union has demanded in a letter to Prime Minister Alan Chasney that the government move swiftly to establish what the union described as a much-needed national health program that would initially take care of NWU members, organized labor, contributors to the NIC, and pensioners. Following meetings with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness earlier this year, the union called for the implementation of a national healthcare service. However, well into the month of November, the NWU's Deputy President General, Solis Myers, says the union is unimpressed with a lack of response from the Alan Chasney administration.
We conveyed our concerns for the government to implement a national healthcare service that would assist organized labor and members of the National Workers' Union. We are now in November with very little evidence to demonstrate your government's willingness to move in that direction. We hereby demand that your government puts the Latin lettuce issue on the back burner and moves swiftly to establish a much-needed health insurance program that would initially take care of NW members, organized labor, NIC contributors, and pensioners. The program could be improved as we go along.
In the letter, the union thanked the Prime Minister for attending the Congress of Delegates meeting and at the same time demanded that the Prime Minister get this issue on the front burner.
But we're very hopeful that letter will be received with a positive response given the state of healthcare service in St. Lucia. You will appreciate that a lot of our members are at the bottom when it comes to wages, and in terms of the rising cost of medical care, a lot of them face a lot of difficulty just to go and see doctors or even get their prescriptions. So we believe that this should be one of the priority areas of the government, and we believe everything should be done to make it a little easier to allow not only our members but the St. Lucian citizenry as a whole to be able to access, affordable health care.
Attached to the letter was a resolution on the National Healthcare Program that was voted on and unanimously approved by the union's Congress of Delegates held on Sunday, the 3rd of November. During the weekend of November the 15th to the 18th, the fire service responded to a total of 81 ambulance calls. Divisional Officer David Antoine says the weekend roundup did not pose any level of difficulty for the men and women of the St. Lucia Fire Service. However, he notes incidents like the homicide in Grand Ravine Dennery, which saw the death of a 62-year-old, went unreported to the fire service.
A lot of incidents that take place, you would know that some of them are either not reported or underreported, especially that incident at Dennery where that individual was murdered. We have no information regarding that incident. So that call did not make it to any of our fire stations. As a result, we did not make any response.
According to Antoine, the nature of the calls responded to over the weekend included 5 motor vehicular accidents, 2 physical assaults, and 1 shooting. Antoine provides the details surrounding the most pressing matters.
On Friday, November 15th, at approximately 1:07 a.m., fire officers from the Babono Fire Station responded to a shooting incident at Balata. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated a 42-year-old male for a bullet wound to the right foot. He was subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital in a stable condition. On Saturday, November 16th, at approximately 5:11 p.m., fire officers from the Babono Fire Station responded to a motor vehicle accident at Kabish, Babono. That incident involved a truck that seemed to have lost control and veered off the roadway. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel extricated the driver, who was the sole occupant of that vehicle at the time. He was subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital in a stable condition.
Additionally, the fire service responded to 4 fire calls, 1 being an electrical pole, 2 rubbish fires, and 1 structural fire in the community of Paybush, Babono. Leading communications company Flow has launched its 2019 Christmas campaign, boasting up to $50,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Jacques Wooding tells us more.
Flow, which established the island's first 4G LTE mobile network in September 2017, unveiled its 2019 seasonal promotion with a grand launch at the company's Baywalk Mall branch. Representatives boast that the company has taken action to address complaints of existing customers on their lack of involvement in annual promotions.
All too often, promotion after promotion, Christmas after Christmas, our existing customers are asking, what's in it for us? What's in it for me? What is my benefit? What is my saving? This Christmas, we at Flow are confident that the connectivity is guaranteed and the transformation will continue as we have created a line of products on which the foundation is our existing customer base.
Flow unveiled its new home and mobile bundles, promising huge savings for customers.
Today I'm excited to announce that all of our customers can now benefit by becoming true bundled customers. Michaela talked about us being first. We continue to be first because we are the first telecommunications company on island to provide quad play products. You have cable, you have internet, you have fixed line, and you have mobile. By bringing all of these 4 products together, you will be receiving way more value and way more savings.
Flow invites customers to join in-store activities during the Christmas season and participate in Flow Fridays.
Today and every Friday until December 31st, it's going to be a Flow Friday. So from today, enjoy double data on 7 data plans, island-wide. This means 6 gigs of data, 350 minutes, 350 text messages, and unlimited social messaging for only $25. Switch today or any day and get a complimentary 30-day plan. That's 10 gigs, 1,000 minutes, 1,000 text messages, and unlimited messaging. Absolutely free.
During the promotional period, all customers become eligible to win daily, weekly, and grand prizes. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
In a bid to stamp out improper usage of storage lockers at the fisheries complex, fisherfolk are being advised to secure their spots by signing a new contract rolled out by the Castries Fishermen's Cooperative. The contract forms part of a redevelopment effort by the organization to beautify and elevate the overall surroundings of the fisheries complex. Solange Alfred reports.
Unregulated use of the locker rooms at the fisheries complex has warranted the formation of a new contract to govern the use of the locker space. In the past, the locker space has been used as a living quarters and a point-of-sale unit by occupants. Treasurer of the Castries Fishermen Cooperative, Christopher Lamontine, says the improper use of the locker rooms by fishers and non-fishers called for the immediate implementation of a new contract.
Locker room contract. And there are conditions for the use of it. You know, you must, it must be used exclusively for storing fishing gear, okay? You will not be allowed to lapse on your rent, you know, lockers must not be used for sale of beverages, food and so on. Surroundings must be kept clean, okay? Safety precautions must be taken because, you know, people store fuel and oils within those locker rooms. Okay, it's not for living, sleeping, or cooking. Okay, we will inspect it regularly to ensure that those terms and conditions are adhered to.
Lamontine says a breach of the contract will result in the occupant losing said locker. He asserts that the contract is the first in a line of initiatives aimed at beautifying the fisheries complex due to its proximity to a tourist hub and also to improve the level of service provided to local fisherfolk.
It is not a nice site. When you look at, just opposite to it is the St. Lucia Ocean Blue Seafood, nicely painted building. So we wanted to have, and you notice a lot of tourists pass through the area there and so on. So we wanted to begin a project or program to reorganize and to reorganize the use and regulate the use of the locker rooms.
A total of 50 locker rooms exist at the fisheries complex and come at a rent of $25 monthly. Treasurer at the Castries Fishermen Cooperative says there are no future plans to increase the locker room capacity. However, an overall relocation of the complex may be the next step.
There may be plans to relocate, sometime in the future. I mean, there's a 2040 vision plan, which plan to relocate fishers to over to Banan and lower down Banan there. So there isn't that space there right now, and there isn't that space there right now for us to extend build more locker rooms. So we just have to manage with what we have. But there are 50, and we try to ensure that it's put into good use and that bona fide fishers are the ones occupying the locker rooms.
Lamontine indicates future plans for the fisheries complex will also include upgrading of nearby shops, repairing of dock, and the dredging of the pond area. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Sports and weather are coming up after the break.